Welcome back to the channel. This week we're testing the 2025 Acura RDX A-Spec. Now this is, I believe, the A-Spec Platinum, which is the highest trim in Canada for the RDX that you can get, which is really cool. It looks pretty decent. Not a huge amount of changes for 2025. This is kind of the more affordable SUV, or the top end of the more affordable SUVs in Acura's lineup for 2025. It does have like a smaller kind of stance, as you can see here, but it's actually offering quite a bit of room, and it's still pretty stylish. I actually do like it. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but now seeing it in person, it's actually pretty nicely done. It does kind of remind you of like a smaller MDX. I think it looks really cool. The back looks really cool. I like how they're not hiding the exhaust as well. Got the A-Spec badge there as well. Very cool. SH all-wheel drive, of course. Gray paint is not looking too bad for the winter anyways. I mean, it could be a lot worse. So far, the roads are disgusting, but honestly, it's more the wheel wells that are getting gunked up with garbage. Everything else looks relatively clean. But yeah, I'm kind of a fan of this one. I really wasn't expecting to really enjoy it too much, but really, I think this is cool, and I can see why a lot of people want to drive them. But it's cold out, so let me put the GoPro up there, hop in, and let's take it for a drive. All right, so getting out on the road now with the RDX. First driving impressions are, it's surprisingly like nimble. Like Acura has done it again with like really good handling, and the SH all-wheel drive is very good. I'm slipping a little bit more often than some of you might expect, but also it's kind of bad out here. The sun's out now, so it's melting a lot of stuff, but still it's a little slippy. But I am a little smaller of a vehicle, right? So there is that as well. So it's not a massive SUV, this RDX, but still gets the job done in disgusting snow, slush, and ice, which I'm driving through right now. And it's still actually quite nice. But yeah, the handling is actually super tuned in, I find. Just like I find on almost all of the Acura products that I've driven, their handling is some of the best. It's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe unless you drive something that handles like pretty bad and then you drive an Acura. It's pretty decent. Like, well, take for the Infiniti, like the handling was okay on that, predictable, but this is just like way more dialed in than that. Pop it into sport mode. I really like the responsiveness too when you do pop it into sport mode. We're about to get on the highway here, so we'll see how it does with that, but I am not worried at all because this thing's got quite a little bit of a kick to it, which I do like. Acura is usually pretty good, especially in the top ends, at giving us a decent amount of performance. So see, I'm like pretty hard on the throttle there. It's pretty good. We'll get onto the highway here. Let's give it some beams. Oh yeah, look at that. Man, why? That's okay. Hey, a little car that can, little SUV that can and will. That's pretty good. That's actually very nice. I will say the road noise is a little bit loud, so I feel like I'm having to talk louder than normal to kind of make sure you hear me. And you probably hear the road noise as well. We're going about 110 here on the highway. So you definitely do hear the tires and stuff like that. That's definitely not a winter problem. That's just a sound isolation problem. But again, this is, trying to be on the more affordable end for Acura's SUVs. So, those are things that we're not really caring about. Something I care about would be like, space, usability, how convenient it is to drive. Reliability would be a big one, but I can't speak on it. But so far, like if you want to have a little bit of fun, pretty good. I will say though that I feel like it's missing a little bit of love because I've got the analog gauge clusters, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I've got like the analog gauge cluster with the digital in the middle, and while I still don't mind that personally, I just feel like if all the other Acura products are getting a fully digital gauge cluster, then why leave the RDX out of that? Like, just give it the same treatment, and then you're kind of on par with everything. I've also got a touchpad. Again, we will get to it, but overall, driving is pretty comfortable. Handling is very good, really nice. Pickup is also pretty good. There's a little bit of turbo lag there when you're at some speed, but nothing to complain about. Honestly, wasn't expecting it to kind of have that much give with it, so that's very good. And I love the feel of this steering wheel as well. And yeah, so handling is going to be a breeze this week. Winter weather is going to be a breeze too, because I've got a decent SH all-wheel drive system underneath me, and ride quality, it's pretty comfortable so far, even in sport mode. But there's no individual mode or anything, so I can't really change the suspension or, you know, engine tuning. I can't do any of that, so we're kind of stuck with what we got here, but that's completely fine. So I will pick it back up a little bit later on the week. I'm going to show you interior, trunk space. We'll talk about the engine a little bit, and just kind of show you what it's like to live with an Acura RDX A-Spec. All right, welcome back outside with the Acura RDX. It's, yeah, once again snowing. Welcome to Quebec in the winter, and probably one of the worst winters we've had in a long time. But look, the RDX is going to do very well. I think we'll kind of hop on the inside after I take you on a little quick tour on the outside again, and then we'll do some driving as well. But what do you think about the color? What do you think about the design? You think it's due for a change? You think it's in line with what Acura is trying to do? Personally, I like it a lot. I actually really like the back with the little diffuser there and the exhaust. They're not hiding the exhaust. They're not fake either. Something that you don't always see today in the automotive world, especially with SUVs. So super nice. I'm gonna turn my back because the snow is hitting me in my mouth. But really nice. I actually do really like the gray with the black accents with the door handles like that. But before my hands freeze off here, let's see if we can check out the trunk space. Kind of want to show you that too. So of course it's an automatic tailgate, getting whipped in the face with snow. Oh man, look at all the snow that just came off of that. It's a winter wonderland here. All right, I'm gonna have to put a shovel in my trunk now because of that. But anyways, you can kind of see the RDX badge right there as well. There's a little bit of storage underneath the floor here. If I can figure out, there we go. Oh yeah, there's actually a good amount of storage underneath. There's no spare tire there, but that's fine. Good amount of storage. You can put the fold those seats down. You have a ton of room. You can use the button or the lever right here to do that, but really a surprising amount of space, so that's really nice. But let's actually check out the interior. All right, now we're sitting inside because of course it's garbage outside, and we're gonna take a look at the interior for the front seat of the Acura RDX. Very nice. I love the way that Acura does their steering wheels. Very, very, you know, just non-complicated, but also very nice to hold in my hands. I've got paddle shifters there. I like the A-Spec logo there as well. It would be a Type S if the RDX came in a Type S, but it doesn't in Canada. On the right-hand side, we have all of our cruise control settings. Left-hand side, besides the heated steering button, we have our gauge cluster settings and also the ability to kind of control the volume and stuff. All the way on the left-hand side, you can see we have 2 memory seat settings, and we also have a whole bunch of controls here. So we've got the heads-up display controls, the brake hold, the parking brake, the parking sensors, the electric heater kind of for the front windshield. It's not doing too much at the moment, but usually it does do something. I have to put the heat up in order for that to get out of it, but anyways, it's disgusting outside. Got traction control off as well as your safety button as well there, and then we can move over to our digital gauge cluster. I don't hate it. It's that mix of digital and analog. Personally, I don't mind it. I just think that if Acura has other products that are gone full digital gauge cluster, then the RDX should not be skipped for 2025 especially. But like I said, I don't hate it. I think it's decent. I think, look, I still enjoy the analog stuff. I did enjoy it when the TLX had it, but obviously now it's gone digital, and I also like that as well. So you can kind of have both worlds. But yeah, this will show you current speed, navigation, maintenance stuff, tire pressure, your seat belts, minimalism. You can kind of change a couple of things through here, but not too much. But usually I just got it on the speed. I've also got a heads-up display, which isn't bad. If we move over, we have my my least favorite infotainment display. Not because the system sucks or anything. The system is actually quite responsive and quite good. It is this guy down here that makes dealing with this not so fun. Look, the trackpad is easy to get used to, don't get me wrong. It's just not fun to use. I'd prefer to touch the screen, or honestly, I'd take a knob. And I think Acura understands that, because both in the MDX and the TLX, the dumb touchscreen is gone. So take that if you think the touchscreen is great. But it isn't. The system overall, though, is really good. Got wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, built-in navigation. You can change your ambient lighting, different things like that. It's easy to do. It's easy to use, right? It's just sometimes this trackpad just doesn't work with you, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world. That's pretty much it. But other than that, it's the standard Acura stuff you've seen before, and it's still good enough in 2025 to me. Then we have all our physical controls for our HVAC control. It's a dual-zone automatic climate, which is very good. And we also have ventilated and heated seats for the driver and the passenger. Standard stuff. We've got this little knob here that's going to enable us to change the drive mode. We've got a couple of different ones, like the comfort, the snow mode, which I'm in now, normal and sport, but I'm going to go back up to snow because, yeah, you can see it's absolutely gross outside. Then we also have the buttons to change our gear selector buttons, which is very nice. And yeah, that trackpad is always there. And we have cup holders right here, and I like where the wireless charger is. Very nice and easy to access. A little bit of storage in there. Not bad. I like the seats as well. You can customize the bolstering and different things like that. You can also customize some leg support there. Passenger has a nice view of like a good dash. Overall, the interior here, the design is really, really good. I don't feel like I want to call this interior boring, as it's got the red, it's got the different trims, even got the red stitching with the black. Like, it's kind of got everything that you want, and it's actually impressive. I wasn't expecting to get the red interior, but I'm really, really glad that I did, because it just looks really, really good. So I'm happy with that side of things. Not bad. Overall, the interior is super, super nice, but let's see how it performs in the snow. Maybe we'll go on the highway a little bit. We'll drive around in the parking lot in the snow here. In snow mode, we'll see what it does in, this garbage. Let me mount the GoPro up. All right, so now we are leaving the parking lot in the snow. Got the RDX in snow mode, and it's doing quite well. But what's happening right now is that the parking lot's so full of snow that people can't really tell where the curb is, and I just watched two people drive directly over a curb. It's definitely a curb. I mean, your car doesn't behave like that because of a snow. Oh, damn, that guy. Okay, and it appears that somebody damaged their car on a curb. Alrighty. Yes, welcome to Quebec in the winter, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter if you have all-wheel drive. Sometimes you still damage your car on a curb. Anyways, RDX is doing very well. I'm not hitting any curbs if you're watching Acura. I'm completely fine and just driving in the snow. Stopping power is good. I don't really feel like I'm slipping. I actually feel like the snow mode is really, really helping me, especially on the highway and stuff, where you're kind of trying to transition in between the lanes. And, obviously those are not plowed yet because we're getting a dumping, and it's not going to be plowed probably till tomorrow. So pretty good. We might try to attack some roads here. Maybe I'll go on the back roads. It won't be as done as the highway would be. So let's see what kind of stuff we can get into if we do that. But yeah, like just turning and stuff, I don't feel like I'm slipping. I feel the vehicle taking its time though when turning and also applying power. You can feel like a significant power reduction when you put it in snow mode, which of course is to be expected, because you want traction first. You're in snow mode, you're not really looking for speed, you're looking for traction, stability, and control. And I think that's what the snow mode is giving me. And it's giving me quite a bit of confidence as well, especially when the roads are like kind of drier or like have like a little bit of snow on them. It's actually quite easy to maneuver around, so that's very good. Like here we're in a tight turn, and yeah, not too bad. It floated a little bit. Like I felt the car kind of go off a little bit, but again, you can feel the traction control working, the vehicle kind of taking steps to correct itself, which is exactly what you want here in these crazy garbage Quebec winters. You want nothing less than full control if you can get it. So also, good pair of winter tires is going to take you quite far here. That's going to be really, really, really important in the winter. I can't stress that enough. Even if you're in a place that doesn't require winter tires, please get them. Because, if it does this in your area and you've got summers or all season, even with your all-wheel drive car, good luck, my friend. You're going into trees and other people, because this is just ridiculous. Here in Quebec, though, it's you have to have it. If you don't have it and you cause an accident or you get caught, I'm pretty sure it's not good. But if you just get caught in general, you get a pretty good fine for it. So, don't get caught if you're going to do it. Just don't drive if you're not going to do it. But look, my RDX has it, and I'm really, really happy it does, because I've got complete control, complete confidence in, pretty garbage weather. Ride quality has actually been pretty good too, despite having a lot of, winter bumps, and like the roads are just worse in the winter because there's salt, there's sand, and there's everything in between on the Quebec road. So like, ride quality is something that I feel like I notice all year round, but particular in the winter if it's not good, or this one's obviously not top of the line. Like I do feel bumps sometimes, especially if I'm in sport mode, but I don't feel them that much, and I feel like that's aided a lot by the seats. The seats are actually quite comfortable. And yeah, look, like right now though, I don't really feel any bumps because I'm, basically driving in unplowed territory. This road here, like I thought it would be, is completely unplowed. I should have brought my other camera, but unfortunately, it is dead. Good old GoPro cameras and their batteries. But look at this. Really, really no problem driving through it. I'm driving through. The road is completely unplowed other than other cars driving on it. Of course, we have a brave Dodge Caravan that's absolutely ripping. I do not want to do that because I don't want to end up around a tree or anywhere else, in the vicinity of trees, which are either to my right or my left. But still, this is handling it very, very well. The acceleration is very controlled, which is really, really nice. And yeah, just that gives me a lot of confidence in this vehicle. And if you're looking for something in the winter that's going to kind of hold up and give you confidence, as long as you have winter tires, you're really going to be safe here with this RDX. I'm very, very happy to say that. SH all-wheel drive. I haven't really gotten to seriously test the SH all-wheel drive in the winter yet. This is my first experience with it on any Acura, and it's doing very well. That scared me because there's somebody driving on my side of the road. That's not normal. Okay, so basically, let me say something. We're going to go off on a tangent here because that's crazy. There's some Quebec drivers, okay, and you know who you are if you're watching this video, that absolutely, it's like you guys have had 12 beers as soon as it starts to snow, rain, or do literally anything. You guys can't keep it on the road. There was literally just somebody in my lane, like coming towards me, and then swerved over to the other side. Sir, it's 1:30 on a Thursday. We can't be doing that. I don't know what it is. The winter turns Quebec drivers into drunk drivers. It's absolutely nuts. I'm driving in straight. Maybe, is it me? Like, am I the one that's had 12 beers? I don't know. But if you live in Quebec, you absolutely know. And potentially you're one of them and you're in denial. And if you are, please get off the road. And that's it. That's going to do it for my tangent on the Quebec roads. But anyways, the accurate, I'm off the meds today, honestly. And I'm having trouble focusing. So, the fuel economy is the last thing I want to talk about before I turn this camera off and go to bed. So the fuel economy is 12.7 liters per 100 kilometers, and I've done about, say, like 250 kilometers so far. So, not good, not great. I do a lot of idling, though, so I think if you guys, are driving it normally, then you'll probably get better fuel economy than myself. I'm idling. It's for filming and stuff like that, so I'm constantly... the engine's constantly running but not actually moving, so that's probably hurting my fuel economy numbers. So you want to drive it normally and you'll probably see better numbers. But 12.7, not good, not great. Right there in the middle. I'd say it's about average. It's not impressive. It's not a hybrid or anything, so I wasn't expecting it to be that crazy. But yeah, if you're looking for a decent winter car, or decent winter SUV, I should say, the RDX is a really good platform. Really, really good. SH all-wheel drive has my stamp of approval in the Quebec winter, at least. And I feel like that's as bad as it gets in some areas. So there you go. Very, very nice. All right, I'll pick it back up later because I obviously can't keep one train of thought. So we'll throw it to when I'm back on the old meds. All right, let's throw it back later. All right, back outside with the RDX, and now we have the hood open since we're filming some hood B-roll. Figured this would be a good time to show you what the engine actually looks like. So it's an a turbocharged inline 4-cylinder engine, 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. So not bad numbers, quite quick actually. Even just generally on the road, as you've seen, it's been pretty nice. I like that we have the Acura badge on the engine cover. I like when manufacturers do that. So, it's a relatively, as you can see, compact engine. And I mean, you don't really need much more if you got all-wheel drive. We've also got the 10-speed automatic transmission as well. So overall, a small and compact engine that still is pretty well tuned, in my opinion. All right, welcome back outside for the last time for the RDX Platinum Elite A-Spec. It's actually the advanced A-Spec in the US, which is interesting. But overall, this week has been really, really nice. I've loved looking at this car. It's such a nice design. Although it's been in the market for, I think, about 5 years, maybe more than that, it's still kind of aged really, really well. I expected it to be a lot less than it was. I expected there to be a lot less room. I expected there to be a lot less power. But it surprised me in every aspect that I think you want a vehicle to surprise you in. I still really like the fact that they're not hiding the exhaust. It's not fake exhaust either. There's a diffuser here in the back as well. They've just done things the right way, despite not it doesn't have a twin turbo V6 or anything like that. It's got an inline turbocharged 4-cylinder, and I am completely okay with that. I do not mind it at all. Would have made it better if it was a hybrid, sure, but it's not. Maybe it's not the best on the fuel, but I don't care. It just looks really, really nice, and it does everything super well. It drives well, handles well, really good in the winter, ton of space. There's not a lot to complain about here. There really, really isn't, besides the trackpad, which is horrible, and that's it. But look, let's hop in for one final time, and let's give you some final driving impressions before we send the RDX off. Let's do it. All right, so last time on the road, the Acura RDX, and it's been just like I said on the exterior. a really easy week. It surprised me in every single area of its, what it can do, of what it is. I didn't expect it to be sporty. It kind of was. I didn't expect it to have as much room as it does. It's just easy to live with in general. If you can get around the touchpad, and if you can get used to it, and I'm sure a long-term ownership experience, I'd probably get used to the trackpad and not really even notice that it's there. So that wouldn't be a huge deal either. And I think that's really, really cool. It just does everything super well, and it looks sporty as well. And it's kind of one of those ones that's like, well, maybe you don't want something so boring. You want an SUV, you need the all-wheel drive, you need something that's good and decent in the winter here in Canada, but you don't necessarily want a minivan or something that looks like, a mom car. I think the RDX is an absolute perfect thing because you got the red leather, you got I love the different materials in here. I love the change of colors. This is by no means a boring interior, and that's super important. Driving it in the snow, in the slush, in the dry roads, it's all just been easy. And when I don't have a lot of negative things to say about a car, that's when I kind of know this is a solid vehicle. And it's been around for, I think, almost 5 years. So Acura have really had time to dial this vehicle in, to kind of listen to what their consumers want. And I think they've really, really nailed it, other than the trackpad. I will say that. Like I said, there's been some changes. So the exterior, has the nicer grille, the kind of painted, the trim on the bottom is sort of painted. It's got the black door handle. Stuff like that is, new for 2025, as well as we got a bigger wireless phone charger, a little bit more ambient lighting in 2025. Look, if all that stuff matters to you, then sure. If you don't get a 2025, you're missing out. But if it doesn't, then if you get a 2024, you're absolutely missing nothing. Zero. It doesn't matter because you're still going to get the trackpad anyways. The color options are not that crazy. So look, if you can save money, get a 23 or 24, and you're still going to get a solid driving platform in the Acura RDX. And I think that's a really good thing. That's probably a reason why I do see quite a few RDXs around my area in Quebec, and especially in the heavy snow. Those guys are always out. I always wondered, I was like, what are this little SUV doing out here, in the snow? And it's because they have a snow mode, which they're probably in, and their SH all-wheel drive is doing a really, really good job at torque vectoring and doing all the traction control stuff that it needs to do to keep you safe, which is really important, and a really good job by Acura. So let me know what you think of the Acura RDX. Would you go the top end? Do you really like the A-Spec, or do you have a lower model, and how is that fared for you? I want to know all your thoughts, every single one of them, and especially if you're an owner, let us know reliability, because of course that's one thing I cannot speak to. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe for more videos just like this one. The more that you subscribe, the more numbers I have, the more likes and stuff, the more engagement I get. I can take that to other brands like, kind of the bigger ones like the Porsches of the world and stuff like that, and say, look, my audience is extremely engaged. They want to see me, they want to see me drive a Porsche. If you want to see that, make sure you like and subscribe. With that being said, I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.